The vegans are the first that will play the card, oh, it's an appeal to authority fallacy. All you do is appealing to authority. Don't you see that? You're appealing to your cherry-picked studies. For every single vegan study there is, you can list 1 million counter studies. But of course, the vegans won't believe it. The vegans won't listen.
Yo, the vegan diet isn't healthy at all. It wrecked my sister's health. Hey dude, I don't really think we should be relying on an anecdote to make nutritional claims. Why don't you look at this actual study that supports the vegan diet? It's actually a pretty good study. You should look at it. Dude, for every study you show me that supports a vegan diet, I can come up with a study that goes against the vegan diet and that counters the study that you're giving me. Nutritional science is completely pointless and meaningless. There are conclusions for every single claim. So, we should only be going off of anecdotes and stuff about our sisters failing on a vegan diet, not actual nutritional science that has been peer-reviewed by experts. Screw nutritional science. What about anecdotes? What about my feelings? Oh, okay, so could you just show me one of those millions of studies countering the study that I just gave you or countering the vegan diet in general? Just please, just one. Dude, why are you asking me for evidence of my claims? Why are you asking me to back up the claims that I am making? You're so brainwashed by science, dude. All I need to show you is my sister. Look at my sister, bro. She failed the vegan diet. Hey, what is up, guys? So today I'm making a collab video with Vegan Gaze. If you haven't seen her before, please go check her out and subscribe. She does very similar things to me in that she likes to make parodies on ex-vegans, and she also enjoys debunking anti-vegan nonsense. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today, debunking anti-vegan nonsense. I'm going to be joining her in her series called Anti-Vegan Nonsense. So today I'm going to be responding to Bobby's perspective, an ex-vegan who is not only just an ex-vegan, but also an anti-vegan. And the video we're actually going to be responding to is literally titled, Why I Am Anti-Vegan. And similar to other ex-vegans, he's one of those ex-vegans who ended up taking a nutrient-restricted version of a vegan diet, suffered health problems as a result of the nutrient restriction, and then blamed the vegan diet as a whole for the nutrient restriction, as opposed to the actual nutrient restriction. Don't you just love when somebody with restrictive eating habits adopts the vegan diet, gets bad health outcomes as a result of the restrictive eating habits, and then decides to, with a lot of brain power, blame the actual nutrient deficiencies and health outcomes that are bad on the actual vegan diet as opposed to the nutrient restrictive nature of their diet. Love it. All right, let's see what amazing anti-vegan arguments that Bobby's perspective decides to come up with in this video.
I know nowadays in the media you hear a plant-based diet is the healthy way to go. But guys, we already tried that. If you look into what we've been eating, it is a plant-based diet. I know it's quite a shocking fact, people can't understand this, and I didn't believe it myself. But once you start looking into it, you will find out that most people already eat a plant-based diet. We eat processed plants, absolute sugary, carby foods.
So when referring to health, I think it's pretty obvious what vegans are referring to when we advocate for a plant-based diet. We are advocating for a generally whole foods plant-based diet. So here, Bobby's perspective is conflating a generally whole food plant-based diet, the one that vegans tend to refer to when we're talking about health, with the standard American diet, which is technically based in plants, because a lot of it is based in plants. There's a lot of plants in a standard American diet. So in an effort to discredit the general health benefits of a whole food plant-based diet, Bobby's perspective is deciding to conflate a whole food plant-based diet with a standard American diet, which is technically based in plants. So I think it's a little bit dishonest of Bobby's perspective to make this sort of like conflation, because I think he knows, as someone who was in the vegan community before and who cared about his health, that the whole food plant-based diet is what we're referring to when we talk about the health benefits of a vegan diet, not just a plant-based diet in general, like, the standard American diet where there's a bunch of processed stuff and garbage. So yeah, I think this is a little bit of a dishonest conflation and comparison from Bobby's perspective here.
I am anti-vegan for health. Veganism wrecked my health. Veganism wrecked my sister's health. Veganism wrecked my girlfriend's health. Veganism wrecked my friend's health. But hey, who cares, right? Guys, veganism wrecked the health of thousands and thousands of people online. For every little vegan troll comment that I get hundreds of thanks comments on a daily basis of people that are reclaiming their health. This is why I run an anti-vegan channel.
So here is Bobby talking about a series of anecdotal cases of ex-vegans and people who have suffered health problems on a vegan diet. So I think anybody with basic understanding of nutritional science knows that we cannot be relying on anecdotes to come to absolute conclusions about nutritional science. I can talk about many anecdotal cases of vegans who used to be non-vegan, so technically they are ex-non-vegans, who now have great health outcomes and used to have very bad health on a non-vegan diet. But I'm not going to do that because this kind of mode of argumentation can run both ways. This is why anecdotal arguments are meaningless when it comes to nutritional science, because they can run both ways. What we should actually be looking at is data, not just random stories about our sisters. What a concept.
Simple as that. The true suffering is created in humans. Every single day I have people reaching out to me and telling me how they deteriorated. To this very day, people are still brainwashed. They tell me that they see the improvement with every single ex-vegan on YouTube. You don't have to be a scientist to acknowledge that every single ex-vegan is improving tremendously. Their health markers increase. Every single one of them. Name one ex-vegan and I show you a person that got healthier. It is that easy. But still you have brainwashed people that cannot make the shift.
Okay. So I'm going to have to hammer in this anecdotal argument thing again, because Bobby's perspective throughout most of this video when it comes to on the vegan diet is just bringing up ex-vegan anecdotal cases. So again, Bobby, if you're listening, please listen closely. There are such thing as ex-non-vegans. Any vegan who wasn't born vegan is technically an ex-non-vegan. Now, if I find an ex-non-vegan who had health problems as a non-vegan and then became vegan and now no longer has those health problems, I can make the same point you're making and say, look, the vegan diet is way healthier than a non-vegan diet. Look at all these ex-non-vegans who have better health outcomes on a vegan diet. So this is the kind of argument you're making, and it's completely meaningless. I can make it, you can make it. Let's look at actual data instead, not just random anecdotes of your sister.
This is why I run an anti-vegan channel, because I hate veganism. Yes, I do. I do not regret anything in my life. Everything is a learning lesson. But that learning lesson led me to this point in time. This point in time where I sit right in front of you and tell you about the dangers of veganism. Because now I know.
So let's take a moment to realize what Bobby's perspective is saying here. He hates veganism because of these random anecdotes of people doing an inadequate version of a vegan diet and suffering health problems. He hates veganism, a movement that is meant to end animal suffering, end animal enslavement, exploitation, and killing, solely because there's a couple people that adopted a vegan diet in a way that was nutritionally inadequate. What a sensible position. I really just hate people that are against animal abuse and want to stop animal abuse because there's certain people that adopted a vegan diet which didn't require animal abuse in a way that was nutritionally inadequate. What a genius perspective. Bobby's perspective, the best perspective. Love it.
The vegans are the first that will play the card, oh, it's an appeal to authority fallacy. All you do is appealing to authority. Don't you see that? You're appealing to your cherry-picked studies. For every single vegan study there is, you can list 1 million counter studies. But of course, the vegans won't believe it. The vegans won't listen.
All right, guys. It is honestly so funny to me how many anti-vegans end up making this argument when faced with evidence supporting a vegan diet. You bring up a study that supports a vegan diet and they say, oh, for every study you give me, there's 1 million studies that go against that study. So no, I don't need to read your study. Like, nutritional science is garbage. Like, there's no way to really come to any conclusions. No. And then every time you ask for the study, you basically get nothing. Yo, the vegan diet isn't healthy at all. It wrecked my sister's health. Hey, dude, I don't really think we should be relying on an anecdote to make nutritional claims. Why don't you look at this actual study that supports the vegan diet? It's actually a pretty good study. You should look at it. Dude, for every study you show me that supports a vegan diet, I can come up with a study that goes against the vegan diet and that counters the study that you're giving me. Nutritional science is completely pointless and meaningless. There are conclusions for every single claim. So, we should only be going off of anecdotes and stuff about our sisters failing on a vegan diet, not actual nutritional science that has been peer-reviewed by experts. Screw nutritional science. What about anecdotes? What about my feelings? Oh, okay. So could you just show me one of those millions of studies countering the study that I just gave you or countering the vegan diet in general? Just please, just one. Just one. Dude, why are you asking me for evidence of my claims? Why are you asking me to back up the claims that I am making? You're so brainwashed by science, dude. All I need to show you is my sister. Look at my sister, bro. She failed the vegan diet.
They're going to pray to Dr. Greger to debunk the ketogenic camp. They're going to ask their vegan role models to debunk the carnivore YouTubers. They will go out of their way just to brainwash themselves again and find back into their religion, find back into their cult where they can feel comfortable.
Oh, I absolutely love this one. When anti-vegans start to call the vegan movement a cult, like if you have an ethical position against something, you're just in a cult all of a sudden. Like, I think that, definitely when the African Americans were being enslaved back in the day and there were abolitionists fighting for their freedom, that those abolitionists were just in a cult. If you have an ethical position against a particular immorality, you must be in a cult. Like, here's another example of people just in a cult. Cat lovers and dog lovers who object to people eating dogs and cats in China, they're just in a cult. I mean, if you're against that, you're in a cult. Oh, and here's one more example. Human rights activists who are against cannibals and cannibalistic cultures and killing humans for food who want to live, those people are also in cults. If you're a person who is against the murder of innocent beings for food, you really just are in a cult. Amazing logic, Bobby's perspective. Thank you so much for sharing your insightful and intelligent perspective. I really enjoyed hearing about it. I really now understand that veganism is just the worst thing ever. It's a cult. It's unhealthy because your sister had a bad experience having an inadequate version of a vegan diet. I really understand that the vegan diet is unhealthy and it's a cult. Thank you so much for the reasoning. Thank you so much for the absolute amazing science that you actually cited. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bobby's perspective.
Hello there, my name's Vegan Gaze, and I like going through anti-vegan nonsense on my channel, so I'll just share some with you now and see how you feel about it. So let's go through some anti-vegan nonsense. Carnists, when they accidentally step on their dog's paw. Oh dear, gorgeous. Carnists, when trillions of animals are murdered a year for their pleasure. What are you? A sandwich? Really need to make the connection. And you know why this spurs up so much anti-vegan nonsense to me? It's because they will lecture you about how much they love animals and how they would never do anything to harm them. Therefore, what they're doing isn't harmful. It's like we can't believe that we're capable of being tricked. We're very capable of being tricked, unfortunately. And it just so happens that we've been tricked into being complicit over trillions of animals being exploited and killed around us. Oops. Aw, here is a beautiful little poem for all of the anti-vegans out there. Roses are red, violets are blue. You can't love animals and eat them too. I love that poem. Yeah, it's very metaphorical and deep. There's a really good message behind it. Someone is a little triggered that I'm a vegan who has never broken a bone. Smiley face. I'm vegan and never broken a bone. Add us in there too. Being lazy vegan who doesn't do anything dangerous doesn't qualify you to say you've never broken a bone. I skateboard and have played soccer my entire life, not to mention I played basketball. Well, isn't that just a terrible argument? You're vegan and never broken a bone? You must, stay in bed. You mustn't do anything. We all know that the minute a vegan goes to do anything, they go to move, they go to the toilet, they are at severe risk of breaking their entire body. Cast me up. They're nonsense, people will say. If I really convince myself that I really have to eat meat, otherwise my bones will just decay if I try to do anything at all, then maybe, just maybe, I won't feel guilty about the fact I'm complicit in the killing of all of these animals. Ah! Oh my god. I'm sorry, but what would an anti-vegan nonsense episode be without a bit of a jab at the vegetarians? For those of you who aren't familiar with my series, I can't help it. It's just the subreddit. It makes me do it. I don't do it. I'm not judgmental because, you just think 'cause I'm a vegan I'm judgmental, but I'm not, okay? I'm not judging anyone. The vegetarians are full of shit, but I'm not judging, I'm not. Nothing wrong here. Completely morally consistent. Calf, 30, plump and unfiltered. Animal lover, meat eater. Surviving on coffee. I mean, apparently you're not surviving on coffee because you're still eating animal. Why of all things, that's in your bio? I love animals, but I'm a meat eater. Why would you make that part of your identity? Those two things just don't go together. It's like you've written that down, I love animals. Oh, by the way, I'm a meat eater. It's like a weird defense mechanism against your subconscious. I do love animals. I eat them, but I still love them. Right. I have to do these in short bursts now to prevent an aneurysm. I've learnt the hard way. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch me on Lifting Vegan Logic's channel, because you're not here to watch me, but you did anyway. So thank you.
All right, guys, that is the end of the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Like I said before, go check out Vegan Gaze's channel. She makes very similar content to me and is just great. If you support my content and want to support me on Patreon, the link is in the description below. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.